Well, hello. Hopefully my dogs won't bark like they did the other day. And I completed the Quan T34 76. And here's a completed tank. If I can do this nicely so you can see everything. Alright. What are my thoughts? Actually, very impressed. Being that I did not have a T34 76 in my tank collection. Now I do. I looked for the Kobe one and definitely thought I'd buy that one, but they were like $130 or more, and I'm like, so back I went on Timu, scourging the bowels of Timu, and I found a Quan Guan, a bagged one like the planes that I built, for $22. Not bad. I mean, it's all pad printed. It comes with 4 figures. It comes with a mortar. Let me show you that. Oh, I can get it over here. It actually works. I'm not going to fire it because I'll lose the projectile, but it actually works. And figurines that are not bad. 2 tank figurines and 2 infantrymen. They're not bad. They're just almost similar to an actual Brickmania Lego. And I actually went to Brickmania and I got some fire small arms, the PPSH submachine gun, to make them a little bit better, and then I put them on flat bricks so they could stand and accompany this very, very nice tank. About this tank, it is the T34 76 model 1940. A little bit of history, prehistory to this tank. This suspension on here, this road wheel suspension, is called a Christie suspension. It was an American invention invented by J. Walter Christie. Showed it to the United States Army in the 1930s, and they said, nah. So the Soviet Union looked at it, thought it was cool, and wanted a production license for it, which was granted back then. It didn't have all the issues that we have today, and so they adapted it to their tanks. The first 2 tanks that used the suspension were they were from what you may call the late 1930s, and those would be the BT tanks, the BT5 and the BT7. The difference being a little bit better engine and armor in the 7. The 7 has a 45 millimeter gun. They actually used those tanks in combat. They were very fast against the Japanese 1939 on the border of Mongolia and Japan at the battle Shanklin Go, where they found that the BT tanks' petrol engines caught fire. They wanted to modify the next tank based upon combat experience and also what they learned in improvements. They did was they decided a diesel engine would be better than a petrol engine, which this tank had, and upgraded armor wise and give it a better gun. So from the kind of just slapped down armor, sloped armor at a 45-degree angle was put on the T34. And the thing was they wanted something they could produce easily and mass produce in large numbers. Hence, they modeled 1940. I'm trying to see how many produced. They doesn't say. I wrote a note on here. I think about 400 were produced in 1940. 400 of these were produced. They are 26 tons. There was a crew of 4. 500 horsepower diesel engine. What else does it have? It's the L11 gun. The only difference between this model and the model produced in 1941 is this 76 millimeter gun. They had an improved version of it. This one's called the L11. The other one had greater range and velocity because it's a bit longer. Not much, but just a bit. Otherwise, this tank and the 1941 tank are identical. In 1942, they did some upgrade stuff with the turret. It's still a two-man turret. It wouldn't become a three-man until the T-34-85. But they try to make this turret a little bit more ergonomic because it actually wasn't. It was horrible. If you want to see the inside of one of these, you can go on YouTube. Look for the Chieftain's Hatch. He has videos of himself going into World War II tanks, and I believe he went into one of these. I know he went into a T-34-85, and it's very cramped, mainly because of the Christie suspension and the sloped armor, kind of making it a little bit more cozy inside the tank. Ergonomically bad, but as far as being able to run in the field with a wide tread, it had better traction. It was fast, and it was armor's pretty good. Sloped armor was 45 millimeters, but it was actually better than that because when you had a shell hitting the slope on the armor plating, it doesn't go directly in, it kind of glances. So it gives it a little bit higher level of protection, and that's why they adopted it on these tanks. And also, they wanted to make them simple to build. The Soviet Union, it wasn't any perfect thing. It would be improved while it was in the field. So there's a little bit of crudity to it, and not all on the same par with what you would get coming out of the West. But if you look at this tank, 1940, this is awesome. I mean, it's better than anything the Germans have as far as armor and as far as gun. And the Germans will find that out once they invade the Soviet Union in 1941, Operation Barbarossa, and they encounter these in the KV-1 tanks that basically, once they went through all the BT, the T-26 and BT-7s and BT-5s, and they encountered these and the KV-1s, they knew they were in trouble. The armor alone made for it, but the 76 millimeter gun could go right through armor of a Panzer Mark III to Mark III, a Mark II, a Mark IV. And the Mark III and Mark IVs that they use have the shorter barrel gun, not the long barrel one that came later. So this tank, in essence, served from 1940 to 1944. 44, the T-34-85, which is basically a different kind of a tank, came out, improved, and just kind of refined somewhat. Still kind of crude by Western standards, refined compared to this, upgunned. But this tank, I mean, served through the first battles of World War II in the Soviet Union on the Eastern Front. It served at Stalingrad. It served at Kursk. Basically, this tank and the KV-1 were at Kursk still fighting the Germans, and that's at Kursk where the Panther tank came out and the Tiger tank was involved. And you get a lot of the greatest tank battle of all time. But these two tanks in their 1943 form, this one and the KV-1, were the main Soviet tanks, and the Germans had a tough time with them. And as time went on, in 1944, it got horrible. But up to that point, the Germans were getting slogged by T-34-76 tanks and KV-1 tanks. Anything else? This was replaced by the T-34-85 in the summer of 44. So that would draw the end of this one. What I want to do is this thing separates. I mean, literally into two pieces so you can see the interiors. I'm going to see if I can do that without destroying it. If you bear with me, it should do it. But if it starts coming apart, I'm not going to do it. Because it's not fun to put back. And yeah, it's not. It is not coming together nice. So what I'll do is I'll open the hatch. And you can see the engine. It's detail-wise very similar to the Kobe. Like I said, if I could get this thing apart, you'd see the whole interior. I may just do a video of the interiors of this tank. It will so basically you'll see it like this, and then mostly be open for the whole video. But for now, I just want you to see this. And if you could find one of these, and you want to build a tank model in 135, 128 scale, which most of them are pretty similar, but they go differently in variances, I would definitely put this up there as one to buy. I've had it with my T-34-85, my IS-3, and my KV-1 together. It actually looks good. They all look good together. So, yeah, I'd give this one 5 stars. The Guan T34 76. Mainly because it was not that bad of a build, which I like. They gave you 4 figures, and with a little imagination, there are guns there, handguns and stuff, but I wanted rifles, so I went and just something I did on my own. With the addition of the mortar that came with it too, grab it again. It's a nice set for $22. But this is from Timu, and like with all the stuff going on with the tariffs and stuff, I don't know if you can find one, but if you do, or you're lucky enough to find one floating around there, pick it up and get it. Um, it rolls really good on any surface, and I have nothing but nice things to say. The only bad thing is that part that it did not have, but like I said, I have a lot of spare parts, so I was able to substitute one for it. So the build was completed, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I am going to have a video coming out about watches and pens, something I was working on. But there'll be more videos. There's more new Kobe models coming, and I will buy them and build them as I get them. Like I said, the reason I got this one was because $22 is a lot cheaper than 150 or 160, and I would have liked to have had the Kobe one, but I'm not regretting this purchase. It was good. So once again, I give you one more look. I'll be quiet and let you go about your time, and hopefully you enjoy this. And I will have some more stuff coming up relatively quick. Thank you again, and hopefully I'll see everybody for the next video. Bye.